Communist China is tightening its grip on Hong Kong. More and more activists are taking to courts and to jail for criticizing the authorities. What will happen to Hong Kong? Why is freedom of press fundamental to the life of a country? This is Against the Tide TV. Hanna Jazgarska, welcome. Hello, this is Against the Tide TV. My name is Hanna Jazgarska and my special guest today is Mr. Mark Simon, a former director of Next Media, a friend, colleague and representative of Jimmy Lai. Thank you, sir, for being with us.
Thank you.
Sir, in the name of national security law, Apple Daily newsroom was raided, 5 managers were arrested and the assets of the paper have been frozen. And my question is, why are Hong Kong government and China so afraid of Apple Daily?
Well, the short answer is because they're communist. And that's unfortunately just the way it is. I mean, I think your audience would understand that. Those who are not democratically elected fear those who want democratic elections. And a free press is the key in keeping a democracy safe and even securing a democracy. And so at this point in time, Apple Daily is the largest news media group in Hong Kong, depending on which survey you say, certainly number one or two. So we're very large. And that's a problem for the Communist Party of China when you have the largest or one of the 2 largest news media groups in Hong Kong being pro-democracy. And they've always had a problem with us. I mean, this is a long ongoing battle. I mean, we've been really fighting with them since 1997 when they first came in. Our office has been raided actually more than a few times in the past, and we were raided. We had a big raid in 2000 in October 2021 this year, and then they just came in again the last week or so. You're dealing with a repressive regime, and it's incredibly hard for people to understand what it's like to go from a free and open society to a repressive regime. And that's what we're facing right now. But in order for the Chinese to get what they want, you've got to eliminate the free press.
Sir, are you wanted in Hong Kong? And why and what would happen to you if you just were in Hong Kong right now?
Yes, my understanding is well, not my understanding. I am now being named publicly as wanted, but we've known I've been wanted for a while. Look, Jimmy Lai and those in jails are the one we should focus on. My boss told me in basically April of 2020, you got to get out of here. He said, they're going to come and get you. I don't want your wife and kids to know that I kept you here. But more importantly, he said, look, I need you out there. I need you out there fighting. I need you out there working for us. And the point being is, yes, I have multiple charges against me. I'm wanted on apparently money laundering. I'm wanted on fraud. I'm wanted on national security violations. I'm wanted on subversion. I'm wanted on basically not saying nice things about the government. I probably did a Winnie the Pooh commercial sometime, I think, that probably upset them. Anyway, that's fine with me. I'm sitting in New Jersey. I'm safe. The people we need to worry about are those in jail and those still in Hong Kong. And if I went back, first of all, I don't think they'd let me in. They don't really want to fight with the U.S. And secondly, why go back and cause problems for other people? In other words, let's keep the focus on those that are in jail and those that are being repressed right now. I'm a big American guy sitting in New Jersey carrying on the fight. Folks, I'm fine. Everything's good.
That's so good to hear, sir. Coming back to Apple Daily for a while, if Apple Daily ceases to operate, maybe for the so-called financial problems, will be end of the free press if Hong Kong. You said it in other interviews, but could you also say to our viewers, what does free press mean to the society and to the nation?
A free press is the foundation of everything in a free society. There's nothing more important. There's nothing that means more than the free and open exchange of ideas, because that free and open exchange of ideas goes across all parts of society. In the business community, you have to be able to say what you need to say. In the political arena, you have to be able to say what you need to say. That's a free press. A free press is free and open expression. And a mass media, in other words, it's really important to have the ability to have an open discussion between different types of media organizations, different groups, and that happens in the press. That's how we solve our problems in society. Everything centers around a free press. It's not some abstract concept. It's not something that can be controlled. You can't have one person say, well, I think this is a free press, and I think that is not a free press. It is widely known that when you have a free exchange of ideas, I should say widely shared principle, that when you have a free exchange of ideas, there's a free exchange of ideas. Yes, you don't run around pulling the fire alarm, yelling fire. No, you do not print pornography. But let's be serious. Those arguments against a free press are the arguments of tyrants. It's the arguments of those who don't want to debate the facts. In fact, that's the real issue when you have a free press. It's about open debate. It's about society having open debate across all levels of what happens in a society, whether it's at the schools, whether it's at the government, but also just in the information in the economy. That's very important too.
You said earlier, let's focus on those who are in jail, who are persecuted in Hong Kong, in China. Sir, we know that Jimmy Lai, your friend, is in jail right now. Do you know how he is?
My understanding is health-wise, Jimmy is okay. I mean, I will not criticize the Hong Kong correctional authorities. In all fairness, they are probably the most humane authorities in China. There's no doubt about it. In other words, that's not a very high bar when you consider it. But basically, Hong Kong still is a place where, as for now, you don't get tortured, you get your medicines, you get things. So he's a 73-year-old man in jail for everything nonviolent, and just basically for political crimes. So, yeah, he's physically he's okay, but we do worry about him quite a bit.
Sir, if you or anybody around you is in touch with him, please tell him that we are praying for him, that we are praying for Hong Kong, and of course for the Apple Daily.
I'll do one better. I'll send you when I'm off here. I'll send you his prison address and his prison number, and he would love to hear from the people of Poland. He would just love it. I mean, look, that matters when you're in jail. We've learned that with Solzhenitsyn. We've learned that with Pope JP2 told us. John Paul told us. Look, prayers mean something, and reaching out to people means something. At their darkest moments, the idea that some woman in Poland is thinking about you means a lot. It means a lot to these people that they're not forgotten, you know, and that's a big deal. So yeah, I'll pass that on, and then I will make sure I'll send a note to the lawyers, and I'll make sure that I send you all the note. And if people want to write Jimmy Lai, send him a letter, you know, just send him one that'll get through. There's no need for political talk. Just say we're praying for you and we're with you.
Thank you, sir, so much for these words. One more question, the last question from me. In Poland, our politicians claim that we only want to cooperate with communist China economically. Yet we see also in Poland that with Chinese investments, with Belt and Road Initiative, the Confucius Institutes, comes Chinese espionage and attempts to censor also our Polish media. In your words, what lesson should we in Poland draw from Hong Kong experience with CCP?
First of all, I don't think it's a difficult concept in Poland to understand never trust a communist. They're not going to ever tell you the truth. Secondly, the Chinese are not in Poland because they just want to make money. They basically want influence. They want to basically move the Polish people away from any type of confrontation with them. And I'm not asking the Polish people to be in conflict with the Chinese people. But here's the point. The price tag when you deal with the Chinese Communist Party never works out in your favor. In other words, yes, all right, maybe you get a rail. That's fine. But the price that you'll pay for it will be so significant. The final thing that I would say to the Polish people is you don't need them. You don't need all these special arrangements with the Chinese. They're not providing you anything that the market would not provide you. And if they're coming in and providing something, then the market probably doesn't want it. So how wise is it to take that money that you're going to have to pay back or you're going to have to deal with down the road? And the final thing, when it comes to their influence in your society, why would you let somebody in your society come in who wants to make you less free? I don't understand that. And I think your business community is very short-sighted, just like a lot of business communities are, in understanding what's really asked of them. Look, businessmen want to make money. It's hard when you're the mayor of a small town and the Chinese delegation shows up and says, hey, we'd like to spend a lot of money in your town. But my point is, I don't think that you guys need it. I mean, I know the Polish economy fairly well. It's a good, strong economy. Do you really need to deal with basically human rights abusers to get a railroad done? Do you need to deal with human rights abusers to, buy toys from them? Do you need to deal with the human rights abusers to get anything done? I mean, I think the Polish people, look, buy cheap toys. That's fine with me. Buy China products. I don't care about stuff like that. But really, you have to look back, and the Polish people might want to say to themselves, maybe we're not going to let them control parts of our infrastructure. Maybe we're not going to let them own our phone system. Maybe we're not going to let them in our research institutions where they're stealing everything you have, by the way. So anyway, I think it's a matter of the Polish people understanding that they're strong on their own and they don't need to basically kiss up to the Chinese. And by the way, that's the last thing I'll say. That's the one thing that every time you'll meet these people in Poland, fellow Poles who are collaborators with the Chinese, every time you'll meet a businessman who's trying to make money, a Polish businessman, we have the same thing in the U.S., the first thing they do is tell you how weak Poland is. That's the first thing they do. I've seen it all over the world, in the U.S., in the U.K., every time. They'll try to convince you that you need the Chinese Communist Party. No one needs the Chinese Communist Party.
Thank you so much, sir, for these words and for this conversation. And also special thanks to Hannah Shen, our correspondent in Taiwan, who helped us make this interview possible. With me today was Mr. Mark Simon, a former director of Next Media and a friend, colleague and representative of Jimmy Lai. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much. You take care of yourself, okay?
Thank you so much. This was Against It ITV. Hanna Jazgarska. See you soon.
Okay, bye-bye.